Hired fast and
We've
fired
hired slow and
slow.
fired slow.
Yeah.
We've hired fast, fired slow.
We've done it all.
Yes, we have done it all.
We tell someone to do something, and then we wipe our hands, and they're good to go.
Yes. And then we get mad.
Because it fails.
Yes.
And then we're like, well, why didn't they do that?
Yes.
We laid it out for them in about a 10-second message.
Yeah. That is not good delegation. 50% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. And of the 50% that are remaining, 80% of those fail between years 6 and 10. We're going to focus on 3 things to simplify and clarify things in your business. Welcome to the Lasting Business Solutions Podcast, Indy's launchpad to sustain business success, growth, and leadership. My name's Renee Lucas, and I am your host. Travis, my husband and co-owner of LCS Heating and Cooling, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
Today, we are going to talk about those best practice group visits that we had.
Very important.
Oh, very important. So one of our best practice groups was actually visiting our shop last week. They were here in town in Indy from Tuesday evening until Friday evening.
Yep.
And we learned so many good things, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And if there's any little holes in the business at all, they find them.
They're going to find them. That's right.
That's the reason for them.
Yes. So today, Travis and I are going to talk about 2 big takeaways that we had from our visit last week. And then on our next episode next week, I'm going to be sitting down with Riley to get a perspective from an employee standpoint of having other contractors in the industry visit. So today, Travis, let's kick off by talking about the big plan that they had for us. And it was really to simplify and to clarify.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to focus on 3 things to simplify and clarify things in your business.
Okay.
Now, as we dive into that, I want to start with the book Traction. I've read it like 3 times. You're starting to read it for the first time.
Starting.
Yeah, you asked me if I had the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah,
right?
I need the Cliff Notes. I need the kindergarten version.
Well, I'll help you out with that.
Okay.
But Traction is a fantastic book, and we actually use that operating system in our business. So it makes sense that as a leadership team, the whole team reads that book and goes through there. Well, as we start off, they throw that stat out that 50% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. And of the 50% that are remaining, 80% of those fail between years 6 and 10.
That's some big numbers.
Really big numbers, right?
Yeah.
And so number 1, high five. We're at
Why
year
is
20
that?
and we didn't
Year
fail.
20, yes.
So I'm really excited about
Yeah.
that. But we don't want anybody to be in that stat, right?
No, you do not want to be in that stat. And unfortunately, though, it happens year after year after year after year.
Yes. So some of the most obvious reasons why businesses might fail would be something like pricing, right?
Yep. Yeah. If you want to be the low person, the low bid, because you're worried you need the work, that low number, if you don't truly know your numbers, you're going to bleed yourself out. It's like a 1,000 pricks of a toothpick. Eventually, you're going to bleed out.
Yeah.
So
it's not sustainable.
No.
You can't be a profitable business. There's a time and a place to offer some really significant promotions or different things like that, right? But to have a business model around that, it usually doesn't work, especially if you don't know your numbers.
Yeah.
Right. Some other things too is if the owners never get out of the way, right? Eventually, you're going to hit a breaking point, basically. We know that from experience. We hit a breaking point like that about 10 to 11 years into our business. Yeah. If you don't make some changes from there, the business will fail.
Yeah, most of the time, the owners are actually the big portion of the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So pull out a mirror, take a look in it, and be like, there's the problem in my business.
And you
right?
better fix it.
Yes. All right. So let's go back to our 3 things that we're going to talk about today to get back to the basics, to simplify and to clarify in the business. The first thing that we're going to look at is right person in the right seat. Okay. So that's really saying, hey, we've hired somebody and they are the right fit with our company and our culture and our core values. And we have them in the right seat that plays up to their strengths, right? Now, a lot of business owners or a lot of hiring professionals, maybe they don't look at that. How might somebody hire somebody in that might be detrimental later on?
Well, I mean, usually you bring somebody on, they're doing a good job in position A.
Yep.
And we need to fill position B. And we plug that person into position B. And there's no training, it's the wrong person, wrong seat for them.
Yeah. So it might still be the right person for the company.
Yeah, for the company,
but we've just put them in the wrong seat.
They fit the culture.
Yeah.
But they're in the wrong seat.
Yeah. Have we ever done that?
Well, yes, we have.
Yes,
a lot.
We have.
Yes.
We've done it so many times.
And why?
Because it's easy.
And it's out of urgency.
It's out of urgency.
It's path of least resistance.
Yes. And we might have an employee who wants that position, or maybe we think it's a career path and it's a way to grow. But the mistake that we've made is that we haven't really evaluated that person's strengths and the training that's needed to go into that position, right? So I'd say a prime one for us, and there's a couple, is moving somebody from one position into sales or moving somebody from one position into a management position.
Yes.
So both sales and management positions, and then the position that they came from, whether it's, and I'm talking our language, right? But maybe it's a technician, maybe it's a client specialist, something like that. They're very different skill sets. All are so important to the business, but people typically don't easily transition into sales or into a management or leadership role. Would you agree?
For sure.
Yeah. So Travis, if a business owner does want to internally promote somebody from one position to another position, is there anything that they can do to make it successful?
Just, what we have done is just plug somebody in, but what needs to be done is actually an interview process coming from that position to this new position, even though they're a part of the company.
That's a really great point. So to actually interview somebody again, say they've been with you for 5 years, it doesn't matter, right? We don't just jump into another position because of some sort of tenure. We've got to make sure that we're the right fit and we have the right skill set and that we're coachable, right? So many times when we're in a business, no matter what the business is, when we've been in there a long time, we feel like we know everything.
Yeah.
Right? And so it can be really hard for people to transition to a position where they don't know everything.
And I mean, a good example in heating and air, because that's what we know, is taking an installer that's phenomenal at installation and they want to get into service. They don't know that skill set. They may know some of it.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm making a linear move. Your salary probably is an assumption that it's going to stay the same, but you don't know that skill set.
Right.
And that goes for electrical, plumbing, but for us, heating and air, we've seen that a couple times. I went through it.
Yeah. And you think that, and I think sometimes too, there is an assumption or a perception of how a career path might go. So as a business owner, if you don't have it laid out for your employees, they're going to assume what it is.
Yeah.
And then they may be surprised when their assumption is not correct.
Yeah.
So taking your example, an installer might say, hey, my next step would be into service. Well, it's really maybe into maintenance.
Yeah.
And then into service.
Yeah. And
right?
you may actually take a step back as far as your salary.
Yeah.
It's not just an even playing field because the skill sets aren't the same.
Right. Absolutely. It's no different than if somebody is in the office and wants to go into the field, right? In the field, wants to go into a management position, something like that. They're very different skill sets.
Yes.
I love your idea about interviewing for that position. Another tool that we use a lot are DISC profiles. And there's a lot of different kind of personality profiles like that. But with DISC, it really highlights what people's strengths are, what their weaknesses might be. And then knowing that person, are they coachable or are they not coachable? Yeah. Now,
for sure.
Let me ask you this. Let's say you want to fill a position internally. Would you still interview people from the outside, or would you only interview the person that's within your company?
No, I think you need to, in so many words, have competition.
Yeah. I like that.
But also know that, do we have the right person? And if we don't, we hire, we just promote them. Yeah. And it's wrong. So yes, you should interview from the outside. Some people may not like that because they're like, hold on, I that should be my job. I should get that position.
I've been here for so long. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where we've messed up. I've been here for so long. I should get that position.
Right.
So no, interviewing for the outside, from the outside. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I think too, something that we have to look at, and we've been through this as well, is if we do promote internally and it's the right person, but the wrong seat, if it doesn't succeed, that person may leave.
Yeah. You've got to expect that.
Yeah.
And you have to assume that if it doesn't work out, yes, that's that chance.
And I'm going to say too, like I would put it completely on an owner, a business owner, for making that mistake. It's a very detrimental mistake, right? But if we take the easy way out, or we say, hey, because it is easier. I mean,
it's way easier.
Hiring and interviewing is literally one of my like top 3 most least favorite things to do in business. I hate it.
I try to make sure I'm gone.
I know. I hate it. And so, it's not fun. You get ghosted all the time. You've got to go through a blue billion applicants until you find maybe 1 or 2 that's going to be a right fit for your company. It's a very tedious process. And so it seems very appealing and very easy if it just works out to move one person from seat A to seat B, right?
Correct, 100%.
But in the end, if you lose that person too because they weren't set up for success, they didn't have the right skill set, you didn't have a plan to train them for it, don't have an accountability plan, if we don't have all of those things, then that can be even worse and even harder because now you're really replacing 2 positions.
Yeah, and what if they really didn't want the position, but they just felt like I needed to say, yeah, I'll take it.
That's a really good point too.
Yeah. And then you force somebody into something, and then they hate it.
Yeah. I think so really looking at clarifying what the position is, what the expectations are for the position, what the pay is, whether it goes up, down, if there's any incentives in there with it, right? Who's the new manager, right? Going into a different position, you may have a new manager. And so how are those people going to work together? How are we going to introduce them to the rest of the team? There's so many pieces of making sure we've got the right person in the right seat. Now, we've been talking a lot about internally promoting, right? But this is also when we're talking about hiring from the outside for any position, right? We've all made mistakes where we've hired somebody and they've not been a good fit with the company.
Yes.
Okay. So one thing that I know we've really not done a good job of is using our 90-day probationary period, right?
Yeah.
You can tell in 90 days if somebody's going to be a good fit or not.
You can probably tell in a couple of weeks.
You probably can.
Yeah.
And so if they're not, get them out, right?
Get them out. And then also, if you hold on to them thinking it's going to work out, because that's, once again, the next easiest path, what are the rest of the team members are thinking if it's not a good fit?
Right.
And we're trying to fill the position.
Right. It's toxic, right?
Yes.
So it's really not good. So as a business owner, you've got hard decisions to make sometimes.
Yep.
So that's where when we've talked about core values and how important they are, when we look at our core values, hire by those core values, hire by what makes you unique, hire by your specialty. We have something we call the LCS way, and there's 7-star service in there. If we're not providing 7-star service out of the gate, that, people should be impressing everybody around them, the team, because they're new, right?
Yes.
What's going to happen 6 months from now if it's already just lackluster and kind of average?
Yeah.
Right? It's probably not going to get better. So
no, it's not going to turn around.
No. So recognize that and part ways with that early on, right?
Hire slow, fire fast. Isn't that what they say?
Yes, they do. Hire slow and fire fast.
And we've been guilty of both.
Yeah.
We've hired fast and
we've
fired
hired slow and fired slow.
Yeah.
We've hired fast, fired slow.
We've done it all.
Yes, we have done it all. And it's painful.
Yes.
Any one of those is painful. The final thing that I'll say about this too is sometimes you hire the right person in the wrong seat initially, right? And we've done that before too, is we've hired for a specific position. The person is a great fit within the company, but we've got them in the wrong seat. So it's not playing up to their natural skill set, right? So ideally, in those cases, you're going to want to keep that person in your organization. They're just going to move to a different seat in the house.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So number 2 is we're talking about simplifying and clarifying. Let's talk about job descriptions, okay? Job descriptions are those things that like you write up and then you file away in a folder or on your desktop somewhere, and then nobody ever
you put it under the stairs, you lock the door, and you don't check on it.
Yes, you never look at them again.
No.
You never review them with anybody.
Correct.
If somebody asked me about a job description, I'd be like, yeah, we have one of those. Let's pull that up. And I look, and the last time I looked at it was 2023.
Yeah.
When was the last time you looked at one of the job descriptions?
It's been a long time. Probably like 2015, before we even had job descriptions. So I probably never even looked at one.
You probably haven't. I guarantee we did not have.
I just put somebody in. I just plug them in. Just go.
Yes,
we'll
we'll
get
see
it
how
done.
it works out. Yeah, don't do that.
No.
Okay, so talking about job descriptions, that is something that from feedback that we got last week, really clarifying the roles, right?
Yes.
So we know as business owners, we have expectations for every position in our company. We know how we want them to perform. We know how we want them to communicate. We know how we want them to act. But do they know?
That's the key word is we know. Key words is we know.
Yeah.
We know how what to expect. We know what we want out of them,
Yes.
but do they?
And then what happens? They don't, but we
And then
assume
we're like,
they do.
what in the world?
Yes, we're
Yes.
like, isn't this common sense?
Yeah.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
It's not common sense, right? We're making assumptions, and then as business owners, we get angry when somebody does not perform or somebody does not communicate or somebody doesn't act in the way that we think they should. But in all fairness, they didn't know because we never set expectations, right? So your job descriptions are a place to do that. And I'll tell you, we've really tweaked our job descriptions a lot. Like every single job description that we have includes our core values. It includes training expectations in addition to things like responsibilities of the job, right? And when we put that in there, it really changed things because think about a managerial role, for example, in any business. Sometimes the perception can be, I'm here, I've learned everything there is, I'm here to teach everybody else, but we forget that there's still a training aspect that we need to have and we need to go through, right?
Yep.
And so having that clearly laid out. Now let's talk about accountability. Scale of 1 to 10, how easy is it to hold somebody accountable? 1 being impossible, 10 being easiest thing I've ever done.
Pretty low. 2.2 maybe.
I know, yeah, it's hard.
It is. Because it sucks. You have to have that conversation, the ugly conversation of you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes, and then all of a sudden Travis disappears.
Yeah.
When those conversations.
I'm really good at disappearing.
Having a job description, along with our job descriptions, we have something for some positions. I'm actually working on getting this for all positions, a success plan in place. And so our success plan shows, hey, on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly basis, these are the things that need to happen to make sure that I'm successful in my position.
Yes.
Right? And so accountability becomes a little bit easier. It's never easy. It's never easy because having a hard conversation with somebody is never easy, right? But it also shouldn't be a surprise because if it's clearly laid out, we know what metrics are, we know what communication is supposed to look like, whatever it is. If we're not performing to that level, then it should be doable. Yeah. I'm trying to think, not easy. It should be doable to be able to sit down, have a discussion about that, and then put a plan into place.
Yeah, and before we had our software, accountability was even harder because there was no tracking.
Right.
We have all this tracking at our fingertips to make accountability easy.
Every industry does.
Every industry does. And we just, with Heat and Air, the Service Titan software we have, it can track everything to let the tech know, let the manager know where we are, how good are they doing.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
So if it's not set up right or you put no emphasis on it, then it's useless.
I think too, something to remember, any industry that we're in, there is software and there's technology at your fingertips.
Yes.
Right? And with AI coming around too, I think the cool thing about that is if we look at AI as a partner and a resource, not as a replacement, it'll be a really positive thing in all of our businesses.
Yeah, and for the most part, probably a lot of owners are afraid that the employee, be it field or office, they don't want to be held accountable.
But I think people do.
No, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But we see it as, well, if I hold them accountable, they're going to be mad if they're
getting in trouble.
Yeah, they're getting in trouble.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want to be held accountable to find out where they are.
Something that I've always thought, now, I'm saying this, I'm not a parent, right? But I've always thought too, like you see some kids who are raised with some sense of structure and discipline and things like that. And then you see other kids who are like feral, right? Who have...
I was feral but got disciplined. So,
that was a good combination for you.
It was. Switch, belt, whatever it was. But yeah, so I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, but I think the thing is like kids actually, they crave structure. They really do. They might say they don't. Their brains aren't even developed to make that decision, right? But kids crave structure. And I think it's the same thing with our teams. Like teams crave structure, they crave clarity. They want to do a good job, right? There's some people, they're going to come in, they're going to collect a paycheck and they're going to go home. Get those people out of your organization and find people who have a drive, who want to be better and who care. Yeah. Right? Those people want to know.
True, 100%.
Yeah.
Those people are out there.
Yeah. So when doing your reviews, I would strongly suggest keep those job descriptions accessible, keep them out, review, use them for accountability purposes, and use them to have some sort of structure to grow, right? And when we're talking about growing as an individual, with departmental goals, with company goals, all of the things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's talk about our third thing here. And this is a really tough thing as well. And it's to delegate. Okay. So as leaders, we have to learn to effectively delegate so that we can continue to focus on the vision of the company and moving the company forward. Right. Now, tell me your process for delegation. I guarantee it's similar to mine.
Well, we delegate. We tell someone to do something, and then we wipe our hands, and they're good to go.
Yes. And then we get mad
because it fails. And then we're like, well, why didn't they do that?
Yes.
We laid it out for them in about a 10-second message.
Yeah. That is not good delegation, but that is how people delegate. Right?
But then there's two types. You have actual delegation, and then you have people that are they want to be bossy.
Yeah.
So,
okay. That's a really good point, right?
Yeah. So that's not delegating.
No.
We've had that.
That's being a jerk.
It didn't work out
Yeah.
in a couple positions, and we put somebody in a position of, I guess, not gonna call it power, but managerial position.
Yeah.
And it just went from I was a field person, now I'm a manager, so now I don't have to do anything, but I'm going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm out.
Not good.
That's not good.
Not good. So don't be that person,
Yeah,
and don't let that happen in your organization.
Yes.
Right. So the first step with delegation is really looking at what are appropriate tasks to delegate. So if we're looking at something that is on my plate or your plate, there are things like reviewing the company financials is not something I'm going to delegate, right? That is something that is going to stay as one of my responsibilities, at least for right now.
Yeah.
That's not an easy delegation, right? But maybe something like reviewing our weekly follow-ups to ensure they are accurate and timely, right? That is something that I could delegate to a manager, right? For a manager, there might be something that a manager can delegate, right? Like a manager really probably shouldn't be going through the mail, right? That's something that can be delegated to somebody else in the office, okay? So number one, really look at the task and make sure that we are delegating appropriate task, okay? Then think about that right person, right seat, right? How many times have we delegated to somebody and it's delegated to either a person or a position that really doesn't have the skill set to be able to do that or hasn't learned it?
Yes, and that will fail.
100%.
100% gonna fail.
Right?
Yeah.
The biggest thing that you talked about, Travis, was the implementation of it. So, we tell somebody, hey, I'm going to have you start doing this, right? And we tell them in about a 10-second synopsis of what to do. And then we wipe our hands off of it and we walk away. And it's like we never look at it again.
Yeah. So what I've learned over the years, following what follows delegation is mentoring.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I can tell you what to do, but I'm going to show you how to do it until you get good at it.
Yes. So take like somebody you've worked really closely with in our business is our install manager, right? And I've heard Dylan say before, man, part of the ways I learned is Travis would just he'd walk side by side with me into our warehouse and point things out that I didn't even notice.
Now,
right?
Part of that was probably control issue.
Right.
So
I love the honesty there.
I mean, it's true. And then to understand, okay, you can take this task on.
Yeah.
And it's not a task that Dylan didn't want to do. It's a task that I felt like Dylan could do.
Yeah.
And then it turned from, for me, from my standpoint, a lot of times I see delegation as a bad word that I'm telling you what to do. But it's not. It doesn't
have to be that way.
It doesn't have to be that way. It can be that way with a lot of people.
Sure.
So the delegation turns into mentoring. Mentoring turns into now this person knows exactly what to do, and they've had a great path to get it done.
Yeah.
I have failed a ton though at delegation.
Yeah. So every leader, every business owner has.
I will probably the number one thing I fail at in delegation right now to this day is still dealing with the service manager.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I'm working on getting that better to mentor.
I love that. Like be a coach, be a mentor to somebody.
You're not
just
passing something off.
Well, here's the other thing to remember. As an owner, how many times, so let's take one of, whether it's install management, service management in our business, let's take one of those responsibilities. How many years now have you been doing it?
Well,
I'm going to age you.
Yeah, minus the working for somebody, probably 12 to 14 years.
Yeah.
15 years.
Okay. So let's even say 12 years, right? How long have these people been in these positions?
Like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So, and I go back to, I assume.
Yeah. And we can't do that, right? So as business owners, we have to think about that clarity and the simplification.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
The other little bonus thing that I'm going to put on that is our processes. Like so many times, something that we delegate, we don't have any sort of documented process for. And so what we do is in our head. Well, how can we expect somebody else to know what to do if it just lives in our head and there's nothing for them to refer to? There's nothing for them to review. There's nothing for them to refresh. You've told them once, and then they're going to forget. I mean, that's human nature.
It's like the price book. It lived in my head for years.
Yes. And then nobody can, and then when somebody prices something incorrectly,
I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So.
Yes, because they didn't have like the magic ball into your head, right? And so documenting your processes, I mean, that's a whole nother episode all by itself.
Yes,
on
100%.
Documenting processes, which we'll do. But thinking about how can I have a path for this person so that we're setting them up for success. There's a training piece to it, an implementation piece to it, and then the accountability piece to it.
And we usually work on this when it's the busiest, and then that turns into chaos. And then we don't work on it when it's slow.
Yeah.
You have to work on it year round.
You do. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing is we can use the excuse of, well, it's been busy.
Yes.
But it's just an excuse.
It's just an excuse.
And you're just making an excuse.
Yeah. You have to make time.
Yeah. You absolutely have to make time. As a business owner,
you're never going to get time.
No, and you're not going to be on an 8 to 5.
No.
Right? So and business owners know that because I don't know a single business owner that.
Well, I clock in at 9 and go home at 3.
Do you?
Yeah. So.
But I think, knowing that you're going to have to develop yourself sometimes as the mentor, the coach for your people, and then to help them develop into the position that they're in.
Yep. Have patience.
Yes. Have patience. That's a big one. That's hard.
Have empathy.
That's hard.
I know it is. It's easier for me. Look at my disc profile.
I know it is. That comes naturally to you. It sure does. So, well, I tell you what, this is really wrapped up. So thinking about our 3 things that we talked about today, making sure you have the right person in the right seat for your company.
And it's
the
easy
position
to remember. It's easy to fill with the wrong person.
It is.
And you just want to fill that seat.
The long-term effects though are detrimental.
Yes.
To that.
So just know that.
Yes. Job descriptions are a great way to have something that provides clarity to your team and sets expectations and is an avenue to hold people accountable.
Techs really need that to see where the ladder goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody, any position. It's not just technicians, right? It's any position.
True. Just from the tech standpoint, there's so much stuff to learn.
Yeah.
As you progress every single year, there's changes. And then they're wondering, where am I at on the ladder?
It's interesting because I'm gonna say this really quick. It's really important, I think, for business owners, too, to understand the different generations that work within their business because
we've got a wide range.
We do.
I have to bust out a dictionary when I talk to Jair sometimes.
Right. The Urban Dictionary.
Well, it's not even urban. I don't know what it is. Jair's dictionary. So I always have to, I'm like, hold on, what did he say?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
But I think understanding the generations that we work with, so there are certain generations that one of their big whys and their big purpose is my career path. Like it's not money, it's probably time off, and it's where am I going, right?
Yes.
What is my purpose? That's really important, and you have to understand who that's important for.
That job description's serious stuff.
Yeah. And then finally, thinking about delegating. So making sure that we're not just taking a task, handing it off. There's no process to refer to in place. There's no training. Anytime we hand something off in 10 seconds and wipe our hands free of it, it will fail.
Well, the other thing we didn't talk about in delegation, I'll make this quick, is you delegate and you take it back. You delegate and you take it back.
That is worth bringing up.
And then you can easily hold it against somebody that they didn't do it.
Yeah. Talk about setting somebody up for failure, right? Is when we do it. Now, here's the other thing, too. I'm going to take that a step back. The reason we take it back is because we feel like they failed at it or they haven't done it well. That's where, as a business owner, you need to look in the mirror. Were you a mentor? Were you a coach? Did you really teach that person how to do that task, or did you set them up for failure, right? You get too many of those, like delegate and take back, people will leave.
Yes.
People will leave.
Now, you got to give them some rope, too, to let them get out there a ways when you're delegating and you're mentoring, because they are going to make mistakes.
Yeah,
they are going to, and I think part of our managers, they have a fear of making a mistake. I'll back up 30 years, and I can tell you I've made 10x mistakes.
It's how you learn.
Yeah.
When you make a mistake, you learn, like you remember that so much better.
And I used to get really upset on mistakes.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, just fix it.
Somebody taught me and taught us really a long time ago, we win or we learn.
Yeah.
Right. And so we win, those wins are amazing. We should celebrate those wins. If we don't, we learn.
Yep.
Right? What did we learn from this? How do we correct it for next time?
Give them grace.
Yeah, give them grace.
Yep.
All right. Right seat, right person, right seat. Job descriptions, delegation. All right. Next episode, Riley's going to be joining us. So Riley is our marketing and client experience manager, and he's going to be joining us talking a little bit more in depth about what that best practice group looked like when they visited, what it could look like for your industry potentially, and how it felt as an employee of the company to talk with, in our instance, other contractors across the country. So really excited for that segment as well. Travis, thank you for joining me today and talking about this as we continue to work to simplify and clarify in our own business. My name's Renee Lucas, and I'll see you next time on Lasting Business Solutions Podcast.